Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Nest for Men's Soccer, our second edition for the 2020-2021 year. We are joined once again by second-year head coach Eddie Horn. Coach, how are you doing today?
Hey, doing great. We're excited to still be here physically. Got class going on. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. So, Coach, you have wrapped up your high-risk period. You were one of the first teams to do that. Just kind of give us a brief overall recap. What did you see out of your whole team, and what did you guys focus on?
Because we had the 3 weeks and we knew that coming into it, we really tried to focus on playing a lot and getting our new guys. We have 9 new freshmen into the team this year, and kind of trying to get everybody on the same page. So we spent the majority of our time playing, and hey, the guys loved it. I think anybody at this level, they enjoy playing a lot more than they like training. So it was a real positive experience for them. And for me, as a coach, I felt good about the progress that we made during that 3 weeks. I think without getting too soccer nerdy on you, everybody started to grasp the concepts really well, and really started to do the things that I asked them to do. So it was real positive. And then hey, the new freshman into the team has made things a lot more competitive in terms of our overall climate. So that was really positive. And then we had quite a few returning players that I've been impressed with in terms of, kept their fitness level up and really have worked on their game in the off season. So, the big takeaway, I think, from the last 3 weeks is that we are improving, and we're definitely on the right path to improving as a collective program.
Good. Well, you mentioned your freshmen. You've got a large group. We've talked to some other coaches, like, for example, volleyball. They're a very veteran group. And so their stuff is a little bit different. For you guys, you're more focused on inputting that system and that culture. Talk a little bit about how that happened or how that you went about that, especially in such a short time frame with only 3 weeks of normal practice.
Yeah. Again, hey, I'm going to have to get a little soccer weird with you for a second. But basically, we really created a game model that was principle based, and we broke the game down into 5 different stages, and then really shared that with the players so they could understand the principles of our game model and how we want to play and how we want to progress the ball down the field and how we want to defend. And I think that helped a lot in terms of, as you just mentioned, having so many new faces into the team. And then, of course, with me being new, my assistant, Donovan Castro, being new, everything is so new. We felt like that we really need to bring some real serious organization to what we were trying to do and get everybody on the same page. And I do think that everybody grasped that really well. And, the thing that we really tried to do in this freshman class as well, and hey, our veteran players, I think it speaks for themselves, but we really wanted to find players that had high soccer IQ that can grasp these ideas. We did, as a coaching staff, as a program, we've moved away from what many would refer to as like a fixed position and fixed movement. So I guess to explain that a bit, instead of saying, hey, when the ball is here, it must go here and you must move here, we went to more of a principle base, which I think allows for more of a free-flowing game and for making it harder for teams to defend against us. So it's recognizing moments and concepts and then putting those into place. And hey, the progress that we made in the 3 weeks was outstanding. Now we can back up and make it more functional based by position and then try to improve the players individually as well as a collective group, and then within our lines within the team as well. So hey, it's really been a positive. It's been a different experience, and I think so many times in life or in this situation, it's kind of how you view things and how you make the most of it. Probably not the way in my mind that I would have predicted the season was going to go, but hey, you try to make the most of it, and I think our players have, and I think for the most part, hey, we continue to get better, and we're moving in the right direction. So really, it's been real positive.
Good. Well, you mentioned taking advantage of what you got, making the most of things. Just because your 3 weeks are over does not mean you're done. You guys aren't going to sit around for the next few weeks. But your athletes won't be back after Thanksgiving, with the exception of our swimmers and basketball and people like that. So you guys got about 5-6 weeks left of the semester on campus. What are you guys doing over the next few weeks? What do these last few weeks, even though you're not in high risk period, look like?
Well, for us, as I kind of alluded to earlier, we definitely want to improve the individual, but we also want to um, uh, improve players positionally and by the lines. And when I say lines, I'm talking about like the defenders, the midfielders, and the forwards, and the goalkeepers. So not only are we working with players individually, but we're also working with groups of players that play in the same line or that they play together and kind of improve that aspect. But again, with the overriding goal of how everything ties into our game model and how we want to play. And so I think that we can get a lot of work done. It's probably not work that most players at this level like to do because it's a bit tedious at times to really dive into the details and really try to perfect those. But again, I think our players' attitude so far has been really positive in that respect and open to really trying to improve themselves and the way the line plays together. So we will continue to focus on that. We also, just because I know that the spring is going to be crazy, and with COVID, it presents its own challenges, but we're really trying to get busy on our community service. So we're in the middle of a candy drive, for lack of a better way to say it, that we want to send some to some troops overseas, but also to provide those opportunities for some young people in this area, maybe some underserved communities, and especially working with Kansas City International Academy. We're starting our pen pal riding with them and then also provide some candy to them because I'm sure that all the young kids won't be able to trick or treat this year. So we're definitely getting started on our community service, which I think is a big part of what we try to do here at Jewel. We definitely want everyone to grow as a person while they're here with us. And so this gives us an opportunity to not only get better on the field, but we also want to better ourselves off the field as well.
Definitely. Well, we've had some coaches talk about the surprise advantage of this being moved to the spring. You talked about really diving in deep, and that's not always something that we want to do as athletes. We want to get out and play, right? And especially for you guys as fall sports, you usually don't get a whole lot of time to dive deep into that. Whereas, sports like baseball and softball and some of those that don't play until February have a few months to do that. Have you found that to be an advantage?
Yeah, no, I like it. I really do. This is kind of going back to last year, but last year the players moved in on a Wednesday. We had our meetings on Thursday. We practiced twice on Friday, once on Saturday, and played our first game on Sunday. So, yeah, it was really difficult. So to have this set up now where, hey, we can really get to know the players. We can look at their individual qualities. We have more time to put the team together to see how players play well with one another and in a line. I think is extremely positive. Matter of fact, I think I'd like to start the petition today to the NCAA to let us have a 2-month preseason next year too. I don't think that'll happen, but no, it has been good. And again, I think it's not something that I would have really thought about, but with COVID, it makes you look at things a bit differently and see how you can maximize your time and really utilize that time. And so we've really tried to take a look at that. And it is a positive. I personally, hey, I like it. I wish we could do this every year in terms of have more time to prepare the team and the players before we actually start our competition. So, again, hey, the players have been pretty receptive. I know they'd like to be playing games as we all would, and there's no better test than playing a game. But I think given the circumstances, hey, we're getting to have an on-campus experience. We're getting to train every day. The games are coming up. We're developing those friendships, relationships. We're getting our community service stuff done. So it really is a real positive. And I've been proud of the way our guys have handled it and the way William Jewell has handled it. They've got everything in place for us.
Good. Well, kind of switching back a little bit, let's talk about your goalkeepers. You had Jose Camberos last year that played primarily for you, Jaden Hicks, who filled in at the end of the year when Jose went down with an injury, and now you've added Eli Gratz, a freshman. So you've got a senior, a sophomore, and a freshman. Talk a little bit about that competition that you've seen through these 3 weeks, but also that you'll have coming up in the preseason in the spring.
Yeah, no, I think you touched on it. I think when you say competition, that's exactly what it is. And I've been pleased with all of them. Jose's coming off of posterior cruciate tear that happened in the Lindenwood game last year and is coming back and getting back going into training again. And obviously he's a senior, been there, done that, so to speak. And so, the experience definitely speaks highly. Jaden, as a true freshman last year, got some invaluable experience that most goalkeepers don't get to get their freshman year, where Going off of memory, let's just say he started almost half of the games last year because of the timing of Jose's injury. And then, to be fair, hey, Eli Gratz has just been like phenomenal in preseason or up to this point. I mean, he's like a cat in there, and really wants to play, really wants to get better. I think he's done a great job, even though he's just a freshman, of leading by example in terms of getting to practice early, putting in the extra work, and then of course, Jaden and Jose. I think their body of work speak volumes. Also, Jaden got some great experience last year. Hey, he's a tough guy, great shot blocker. Needs to probably get a little bit better with his feet for this level, and then. Jose is kind of more, I guess, all around. Can make most of the saves, extremely good with his feet, extremely vocal back there, really can kind of organize and direct things. And so they all have their strengths and they all have their areas that, hey, I wish they would get a little bit better in. But I do think that at least we have three guys that are very capable, and that competition, I think, brings the best out of everyone. And really, I think we can use that as an example of what we're trying to do with the field players in terms of really building quality and depth into the team so that, hey, it is competitive. It is super hard to earn that starting spot, and you've got to be all in and not only, hey, do it on the field, but you got to be doing it off the field, leading the right lifestyle in terms of sleeping right, hydrating right, going to class all the time, making good grades, balancing all these things out if you really want to be a starter on our team, because we're that competitive and we're that good. So, the goalkeeping situation, I think, is a snapshot of what we're trying to get to with the rest of our program. And hey, we're on our way. I feel good about that. So it will be an interesting fight to the finish to see who's going to earn the starting spot, and knock on wood that they all stay healthy, and that I have that luxury as a coach to be able to put someone in that I believe in and trust in a game.
Great. Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking some time out of your day. We'll catch up with you another time before the end of the semester.
Perfect. Thanks for having me on today. Appreciate it.